What's up, Car Squad fam, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Derek and I do car reviews. Today we'll be checking out this 2017 Toyota Tacoma with the TRD off-road package. And as you can see, this does have the 6-foot bed. Now this one does have some aftermarket work done, including an updated suspension kit, upper control arm, wheels and tires as you can see, and a Borla exhaust. Now stock, this truck has a height of 70.6 inches and has a 9.4 inch ground clearance. Of course, with these aftermarket upgrades, as well as the 2.5 inch lift in the front and the 2.75 inch lift in the back, it is sitting a little higher than what you would find on the stock version. Today, I'll show you around both the exterior and interior of the truck, then I'll put you in the driver's seat for a point of view drive, and then finally I'll wrap it up with my thoughts on the vehicle. And one other thing, I am located here in Northern California in the Bay Area, so if you're located up this way and you have a vehicle that I can review, please shoot me an email at the email listed here. Thanks. Alright, so starting off up front here in the engine bay, it's powered by a 3.5 liter V6, has a 6-speed automatic transmission, and puts out 279 horsepower with 265 pound-feet of torque. As far as gas mileage, it gets 19 miles per gallon in the city, 24 on the highway for a combined 21 miles per gallon. Now this truck is equipped with the tow package, which comes with an extra intercooler. That brings the total towing capacity to 6,500 pounds, as well as a payload of 1,620 pounds. Now this truck is equipped with a 2.5 Toyota Boss suspension kit. It also has reservoirs, which helps cool the shocks if you're off-roading and going over a lot of bumps. And another thing this truck is equipped with is a TRD factory skid plate. Now you'll see the aftermarket NFAB side steps that this truck is equipped with. And up top here you'll see the roof rack. The nice thing with this is it is adjustable, so you can pop these arms out and you have different orientations here, so you can have them coming across this way, and it really gives you a lot of different options of things you can carry up here. It is rated up to 100 pounds. Now as we move around back here, as I mentioned, this truck does have the 6-foot bed compared to the 5-foot bed. It brings the total length to about 225.5 inches. One very nice feature is this tailgate is a soft opening tailgate, so you can open it and it won't come crashing down. It also seems a lot lighter to close compared to that Tundra that I recently reviewed. Now once back here, you'll see that you do have an excellent amount of space. It's 41.5 inches wide by 19.1 inches deep. So you've got plenty of space to haul whatever you need. Back here you'll find that you not only have a power outlet, you've also got a pocket here for storage, and same on the other side, you have an even bigger pocket. And the nice thing about this truck is you also have these adjustable anchor points on both sides. So really, again, gives you a lot of options and functionality when it comes to moving things around in the back of this truck. Now, as I mentioned, this truck does also have an aftermarket exhaust. It is a Borla S-type exhaust, and I'll put a clip in here so you can get an idea of what it sounds like. So moving into the back seat of the Tacoma, first thing I want to point out is it is a little tight back here. I am 6'1", the driver's seat is set to my driving position, and I don't have the greatest leg room. Headroom is perfectly fine. I think on a shorter drive I'd be fine, just probably not something I want to be in for a lot of hours. If you're a family with some younger kids, I think this works just fine. As far as features go back here, there are no features. Very simple and gets the job done. You've got your window control switch here on the door sill, as well as a tiny little pocket, and down below you've got 2 cup holders. In the center you do have 2 additional cup holders, however there is no center armrest that folds down. One other thing that I should point out is there is only a rear seat back pocket behind the passenger seat. There is not one behind the driver's seat. Now if you wanted to use this rear seat for more storage, what you could do is pull on this lower portion of the seat to flip that up. Underneath you'll find a little pocket here, and you can store a decent amount of items in there. From there, you'll just pull here and allow the seat back to fall forward. Now you will have to remove the headrest so this can actually fall all the way flat. And then there is a pocket here to store the headrest in, and you can do that throughout the whole back seat here. All right, so now finally moving into the front seat, you'll see that this vehicle does just have manual seat adjustments. There are no fancy power adjustments. On the door sill itself, you have all your typical window controls, mirror controls, as well as the lock, unlock for the vehicle. And just below you do have a small pocket for maybe some water bottles. To the left of the steering wheel here, you'll find first your light to turn on and off the bed light. You'll also find the power switch for that power outlet that I showed you in the bed. And then finally you'll find the button to open and close the rear window. Now on the steering wheel itself, you have your traditional controls for volume and media, but you've also got this directional pad here on the right side, which allows you to control the center screen on the gauge cluster. In there you can scroll through a range of things, whether it be the remaining range for gas mileage. It can also show you what soundtrack you're listening to, as well as your roll and pitch for when you're off-roading, or your tire pressure. Now as we move more into the center of the vehicle, you'll see that you do have a wireless charging port for your phone up front here. Just behind that you have two cup holders. You've got your gear shifter, and then just behind your gear shifter here you have this little square for maybe a square water bottle, and then an actual water bottle holder. That brings the total number of cup holders in this vehicle to 11. You have the 3 in the center here, plus 2 in each door, plus this little square one like I mentioned. As far as storage goes, in the center armrest here, it's a decent amount of room to store whatever it is that you need to. Now the nice thing about this vehicle is the simplicity. You've got a touchscreen 7-inch head unit here. Very simple and easy to use, nothing complicated like what you'll find in the Lexus versions. I wish Lexus would just adopt this Toyota head unit. Other than that, it's pretty simple up here with your temperature controls. You've just got simple knobs that are very easy and friendly to use. You've also got your adjuster here for your 4 high, 4 low if you're off-roading. Just below your climate controls, you'll find your ECT power button, which is usually recommended to be used during towing. To the right of that, you'll find your power button for the wireless power charging port for your phone. And then to the right of that, you have a little port here for a USB, and just below an auxiliary port. And then to the right of that, you've got your little power outlet here as well to charge whatever other devices you might need to. Up top here above the rear view mirror, you'll find your multi-terrain select, as well as your crawl control mode, and you can adjust both with this knob here. Well, that wraps up the walk around tour and the interior tour of the vehicle. I'm gonna put you in the driver's seat now so you can see what it's like driving it.
No, but yeah, I have steel brake lines. They actually help a lot because the rubber brake lines that Toyota has, when you hit on the brakes, they expand from the pressure.
Yeah.
Steel brake lines don't expand, so you have that immediate braking.
Yeah.
And I've noticed the difference. I don't know, maybe some people would say I didn't notice anything with steel brake lines, but I got those because of off-roading. I got extended steel brake lines, so you know, if I ever hit like a odd angle, the brake lines won't break.
Yeah, and you've taken it off-roading a few times, right?
Yeah, I've actually had it at a pretty crazy angle.
Yeah, so you actually use it in that way.
In the desert?
Yeah.
We had a few just like super weird, to the point where one tire wasn't touching the ground.
Yeah.
And you can see those steel brake lines really easily. So
Yeah.
film those too. That's another thing, the steel brake lines that I forget about. It's like little things.
You've done a lot of work.
Little things, yeah.
Yeah.
Over time. I get about 20 miles per gallon on the highway.
Yeah, and that's not bad because I think it, gets about 21 miles combined.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not bad for a truck,
Yeah, I'm going 65.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in the slow lane, but I'm not. It's not a speed demon.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's not what you're getting a truck for.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just noticed, like, for example, on the on-ramp, right? Like, when I was getting on it, and then I looked down, and then we're only, like, at 40. So...
Yeah, you gotta really put it down.
Yeah.
It's not... If you go halfway, it's not gonna... nothing's gonna happen. You gotta go about 75%.
Yeah.
And then it finally, like, all of a sudden wakes up.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, I was... Like, with the Tundra, right? I mean, that's a V8, so...
Yeah,
it's definitely different, but... on that, you get onto the on-ramp, and it gets up to, again, it's not a sports car or anything, but it gets up to 60, 65
pretty quick,
fairly quickly
for
something as big as it is, and this is definitely,
you have to put the pedal down.
Yeah.
Because this thing likes to be about 3,500 and above. That's where, like, all the
power,
torque comes in, yeah. But it's weird because it's such a big jump. Like, you go from, like, cruising, and then it hits 3,500, and then it, like, wakes up, and it's kind of a weird feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is one thing about these. It is, Toyota didn't correctly tune it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was one of the things that, as I was, reading up on them and researching it, that was one of the big things that people kind of repeatedly brought up.
Right.
So. All right, so driving the 2017 Toyota Tacoma. First thing I'll say, I mean, obviously this has some aftermarket work done, suspension and all that. So it rides pretty smooth. I did ride in this truck prior to all that work being done, and honestly, it wasn't as rough as you would expect, so I was surprised by that. Now, I mentioned this is a 6-foot bed versus the 5-foot bed, and I think if you are getting a Tacoma, I think the 6-foot bed is definitely the way to go. Personally, for me, I think that the shorter bed ones just look a little weird with that narrower wheelbase, and there's so many of them on the road. The 6-foot bed definitely looks a lot better, in my personal opinion. And as you may know, Tacomas hold their value very well. That is even more so the case with the 6-foot beds. I was looking around online, and 2017 Tacomas with the double cab used with about 50,000 miles or so were going for about 35 grand. Now, I looked at 2021 Tacoma double cabs, 6-foot bed, and those were about 40 grand. If you were buying one of these, my opinion would be it's probably wise to just buy a brand new one instead of used. Now, you might be able to find one with a little bit more mileage, and of course, in that case, you may be able to get it a little less. But the owner of this vehicle back in 2017 actually started off his journey looking for a used vehicle and ended up deciding to just go the route of buying new because it just made sense financially. Now, obviously, like I said, a lot of Tacomas on the road, and I think the reason these trucks are so loved is not only the functionality and usefulness and reliability of them, but they're simple. You know, I always talk about how vehicles these days have become so complex with the technology and features, and I think there's still a good amount of the population that doesn't necessarily want all those features and all that tech. I showed you how simple it is to just adjust the temperature in some vehicles these days. That's like trying to start an F-16 fighter jet. You know, so I think the simplicity of just being able to use your navigation easily, adjust the volume simply, change radio stations, I think that's all something that just really appeals to a large population still. The one thing I think that I personally wish could be better is the legroom in the back. Like I said, I'm 6'1", the owner of this vehicle is about 6'5". So for us, people sitting behind us may be a little tougher, but again, if you're a family and you've got younger kids, it works well. And I do think that even if you're about my height and you've got a group of 3 or 4 friends in here, it works for a day trip. It'll be fine. One other thing I did want to point out that I realized is the hood does kind of bulge and it's a little large, so just something to get used to, but I feel like that's also kind of common on trucks in general. But all in all, like I said, it's a great truck, reliable. It looks really good. Actually, for me personally, you know, those early 2000s Tacoma double cabs were actually my favorite. And then the generations after that, I wasn't really a big fan of. It's not that I hated them, I just didn't love them as much as those earlier ones that I did. But this generation of Tacoma right now, I really think Toyota's doing a good job with it. They look really good, and obviously you get the reliability and functionality and the simplicity. As you know, I love that, and it's going to hold its value extremely well if or when you want to resell down the road. Well, that wraps up today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed reviewing this. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already to join the Car Squad fam, so you're not missing out on other videos like this. And make sure you also give a follow on Instagram at Car Squad TV. I'll put the link here so you can check that out. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will catch you next time. Later.